Welcome back. It's still the conversation, and as you know, it's the conversation Lagos.
It's a ladies and women affair today.
We have 4 women on set this morning, and we're discussing something very, very important about women and babies. So you can begin to guess, most especially when August 1 to 7 is marked as the World Breastfeeding Week, which ended yesterday. And, you know, according to UNICEF, I have some statistics here, there has been a significant progress in exclusive breastfeeding rate, which has increased from about 29% to 34%. This was as at 2021. And only 42% of babies were put to breast within the first hour of birth. So to have, you know, a comprehensive, you know, discussion about these statistics and more, I have Fumilola Ijiwola. She's a nutritionist, and Oluwabumi Esther Bello, who is a nurse midwife. You're both welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Judging by the statistics I gave you, what are the challenges, you know, women are still facing, you know, to breastfeed children or their babies? Oluwabumi.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, with the current civilization going on, and based on things that have been going on around us, you know, as nurses, as midwives, we've been trying to explain the importance of breastfeeding, early initiation to mothers. And most especially working class mothers. They've been facing a lot of challenges.
Okay.
And kudos to Lagos State government. They gave us this 6 months maternity leave that is an avenue whereby mothers can actually breastfeed their children very well, and they will have time to rest very well. But in a situation whereby they are working in a place where the employers don't give them the privilege to stay a longer time, some they have like a month, and that can cause difficulty. Sometimes when they resume work, how to like a kind of flexible roster, flexible duty on how to go and feed this baby at the required time. So those are one of the factors affecting. And sometimes the societal influence, you know, the influence of in-laws, mother-in-laws, parents coming in. Some still introduce their cultural practices. Such as, you know, you have to give herbs, you have to give water, this baby is thirsty. So when they give herbs and water, you know, such baby might get filled up easily, and they tend not to take breast milk again. And some other things that can be happening with the mother too. Maybe she's not emotionally stable, she's not ready to breastfeed effectively. Sometimes during antenatal, we try to assess this mother, and some might have flat nipple, some might have inverted nipple. So those are likely factors that can make them not to breastfeed. And also some people, they have this kind of myth or misconception that if I breastfeed my baby, my breast tends to sag. So they might have the kind of determination that they are not ready to breastfeed. So that's a personal view on their own. So,
all right. This year's theme, closing the gap, breastfeeding support for all. Let me ask you, do you think that breastfeeding mothers are receiving the necessary support they need for their labor of love? Because it is indeed a labor of love.
Yes. So the theme here is trying to address the gaps. We did a mini survey in our hospital just to know the gaps we are noting. So we realized that there are some gaps as professionals and some gaps from home that is happening. The support system, the cultural myth, those are some of the things that is making them not to meet up with the gaps. But we are saying that the support they actually need can be from their immediate home. The husband is the #1 support, the #1 support system. So if I'm stressed at home, that might be affecting my letdown. and that means I'm not supplying much milk. And if I'm not supplying much milk, the baby will be crying all the time. And then we are all frustrated at home. So that is the #1 support system. I'm tired. Somebody is there to help me to carry the baby. Somebody is there to wash the plates or wash. So we are still advocating that men should be more involved in that. So if they are more involved, then we are closing the gap of the stress not being there. Then I can do so many things as a mother, even as a wife, because I'm doing mother work, I'm doing wife work, I'm doing daughter work. You understand? So the stress is so much at that time. So if that stress can also be reduced, can also help. But in general, it's improving because Lagos State has really said that mothers are now breastfeeding like 34%. It moved from like 29% to 34%. So that's a good indices.
Here in Lagos State,
yes,
civil
in Lagos,
servants, you're allowed to stay home for 6 months.
6 months, yes,
and
that's
that will also
advantage.
support exclusive breastfeeding.
Yes.
And even when you resume work, you close by 2,
yes,
so you can go home to your baby.
Exactly.
So Lagos State is really doing well. But I
really
need to address this myth because my producers are in my ears. They said that if a child does not take breast milk from the mother, is it possible that the mother can get cancer because she's not breastfeeding or not letting the husband also?
And actually, that's a myth too, because there is no relationship between breastfeeding and cancer. So the only thing that can actually happen in a woman that does not breastfeed their child, likely to have breast engorgement and maybe mastitis can happen.
What's mastitis?
It's actually an infection. It's an inflammation of the breast tissue. So that can set in if she's not breastfeeding. Although it's actually their own decision. If she's not ready to breastfeed, she needs to discuss with her health practitioner. Maybe she can be placed on some medications to stop lactation. So concerning cancer is another different thing entirely.
Okay, I want to find out, for a woman who cannot or who do not, for those who don't lactate, what is the solution to that?
All right, thank you, ma. I personally experienced that because it happens mostly to first-timer mothers. So when, they are inexperienced, and that is why we encourage them, when they come to antenatal, they educate them how they are going to initiate early breastfeeding. So this starts from during pregnancy, preparing yourself. How are you ready to breastfeed this child effectively? So we tell them, start cleaning your nipple. During antenatal, they start explaining method of breastfeeding. They tell them how to prepare themselves, the foods to eat, especially food that are filled with fluid. Taking water, in Yoruba land, we take pap a lot. It contains fluid, so that it will help lactation. So, in a mother, there are some myths. Some people tell you they take some things that's not, maybe palm wine, they take a lot of things. But personally then, what I did was, I did early initiation. The baby was delivered, we have to start putting the baby to breast. There's a reflex action. It comes from the brain, from the hypothalamus, and there's a leg down reflex that will occur. So when the baby puts the mouth to latch, it sends a signal to the brain, and the breast will start coming. Although it's a gradual process. Sometimes at the first day, second day, the breast milk might not come. So the mother just needs to be patient. And there's something they call colostrum. Colostrum, it's a yellowish, it's thick. It comes within the first 24 hours to 48 hours.
I know where I'm laughing because when I had my first child, we have this belief that, breast milk has to be white. And the first day I started to lactate and I saw it, I was afraid.
Yes. It's bad milk.
Some people will tend to squeeze it away.
I thought it was bad milk. So I called on the nurse, attending to me that, it's yellow that is coming out too. And that means the milk is
bad.
It's bad. So she started to laugh that, no, that is the one the baby really needs.
It's a first protection the baby needs. So if I may add, you see, there's no woman, because while you're pregnant, you are being prepared for lactation. That's why you're gaining weight, your breast is enlarged and everything like that. So that means most of the women, there's only few people that could not lactate. So like what she said, patience, and then early initiation. It has been said that 1 hour when you give birth, between 30 minutes to 1 hour of giving birth, start the initiation. That means you're telling the brain that it's time to now start producing something for this baby that just came out. So that early initiation, if we miss that episode, then there'll be a delay. So the delay, if it has not occurred, you now have to be patient. So patient in the sense that you continue to put the baby to breast all the time. So you don't have to wait and then start putting other things. And you yourself as the mother, the producer, you need to eat well. There are several food.
I was going to go to that, you know, as an expectant mother, whether you are pregnant now or you're planning to be pregnant, what are the nutritional, you know, foods that you think will benefit,
recommendations,
you know, that you would recommend?
Okay. So we still insist on adequate diet. Adequate diet in the sense that you eat from different groups. So during pregnancy, we encourage dietary diversity. It means that you must be able to have different food from different groups in your plate. And then the funny thing about pregnancy is that the hormone might play its own thing on you. You might not have appetite for one particular food, and then you are vomiting. You are also not feeling nauseated. So those are some of the factors that could make a woman to be malnourished. So what we do as nutritionists or dietitians is that we try to look for different groups. For example, you can tolerate fish, and then you can tolerate snail, which are both protein. And then we also have problem with the meat with snail again. So we try to counter that meat and say, instead of going for that fish, go for the meat, for the snail. For example, you can't take milk, but you can tolerate yogurt. Yogurt contains probiotics, calcium, and it's very good for you, so go for it. You can't tolerate that one, let's go for tiger nut milk. Then we look for another calcium source that could make you to eat more. Or, for example, you are only eating more of rice, because during pregnancy, it's just one particular food that just be appealing to you. So the rice, okay, let's try to encourage the rice. Rice with vegetables, rice with cut carrots, rice with cucumber. You know, we are trying to increase the color in your food, also increasing the fiber in your food, and also increasing the calorie. We even taught some of our pregnant women how to make calorie-dense smoothies during this breastfeeding week. So, for example, we introduce them to oats. Oats has been known to also help with lactation. For any cookies they are making, the oat is always the base. So what we do is that you now do oats, you can introduce coconut milk, you can introduce peanuts or avocado pear, and that was what we pay. And it was so very nutritious and nutrient dense.
I was going to ask, because I see a lot of people doing some cookies for... Yes, I was going to ask if that is healthy.
It's healthy.
You know, and some people still go through all these things. They eat all these things that you have recommended, and they still don't lactate.
Don't lactate, yes.
Is it a natural thing?
Yeah, for few people, yes, it happens. And then stress, if stress is not there, we'll try to eliminate stress as well. After doing everything, then we'll now try to assess your stress level. If your stress level is fine, then that means you're having a problem with lactation.
Okay, so Olubunmi, do you have a question?
Okay, go ahead.
Olubunmi, how does breastfeeding affect the elasticity of a woman's breast? Is there any correlation between that? Okay, many women have that belief that once they breastfeed their children, their babies, for too long, their breast will sag.
But doesn't it sag?
Actually,
it doesn't.
It sags. So.
It doesn't.
Actually, the breast will sag.
It will just get softer.
It will.
It sags.
Because, you know, the skin, it's during pregnancy and during lactation, you know, the breast tends to get bigger. And why, when you are done with breastfeeding, you know, when a baby's latched on a particular breast, after feeding on that part, you know, it goes down.
Smaller,
all this elasticity going and coming, they affect the muscles. So it's just a sacrifice that is being made. And even if you did not breastfeed, old age will actually tell. What goes up will actually come down.
Some even say,
it's come down. Or if you're having big.
Genes also matter that, you know, if in your family, women's, you know, body is firm, that the breast doesn't go down even after breastfeeding.
We have some single ladies that have not even delivered, and they have
it's already
down already. So although gene might play a role where they have a good firm breast in their family, but You see, some people, they've not, or people that has big breasts.
Yeah.
You can't say those ones
Or
will have
even
firm
smaller
breasts.
breasts, maybe very cup one, so
yeah.
it cannot really fall. Maybe that one can still work too.
Okay, I want you to
So I want you to talk about the nutritional benefits of breast milk compared to formula, because I've seen, I met a mother, I think her baby is about 9 months, and I was asking her, oh, did you do exclusive? She said, no, she did not. I said, why? The baby eats too much, so she couldn't cope. And I'm like, that you would have tried, you know. So what's the benefit, breast milk compared to formula?
Okay. Breast milk is natural. It is in its natural state. There's no need for you to say, I want to warm water, mix it with cold water or anything like that. That is number one. Now, in this economy state that we have now, is the most economical. You don't need to buy it from markets. So you just stay somewhere and then you get and give to your child. Then the most paramount one is that it's giving your body, your baby, the best nutrients, because the nutrients in the breast milk, they are still studying it till now. There are so many nutrients they've not really gotten.
Yes.
Several nutrients in
the
breast milk
yes.
that the formula is not yet there, but they are improving on it yearly or daily.
Okay.
So that is why God made it like in the way that the breast milk will just, it looks like water, but it's like a miracle. It's a miracle water that it contains, it's only complete meal. We call it the only complete meal because you don't need to mix carbohydrate with protein and fat. In it, we have all the carbohydrates, the vitamins, the minerals, and everything in it. So that is why it is very important that you breastfeed your child. And that is the most paramount, the optimum benefits of breastfeeding. And aside from that, the colostrum we mentioned is the first antibiotics for your child. It saves your child from any form of infection, the ear infection, anything that could make them to start developing anything. Most of the people that do exclusive breastfeeding, they don't go to hospitals. For the first 6 months of the baby's life, you see they are just thriving. You see them increasing in weight and height. No hospital, no hotness, nothing like that. So it's the best we can actually give. And then it contains the right proportion of the water, the right proportion of the nutrients.
Everything is complete.
Everything is a complete meal. We call it a complete meal.
We have a Vox Pop still talking about breastfeeding. We'll play that now, and when we return, we'll deliberate on it. Stay with us.
Well, breastfeeding is very, very important. For people like us, we sucked breast for like 2 years, and I can confirm that because I can say that authoritatively. We actually sucked breast for 2 years. Our parents took it as something very important. Sucking breast, breastfeeding the child for a long period of time, for a minimum of 6 months without mixing with anything, has a lot of health impact on the child. Well, for a lot of us that didn't have the opportunity, that the parent just decided, for us, if you look at in the olden days, our parent took breastfeeding as very important. We didn't have a lot of riffraffs and all that in the community, but today, because most of what the children take is cow milk, definitely they will behave like cows. So I think those are some of the problems. If you want to nip the issue of toggery and all that in the world, it's important we take breastfeeding as something very important. Even in the Western world, they said for 6 months, you should not even give the child water or anything, it should be breastfeeding. God who has placed it there has a reason for placing it there. So it is very, very important. Though we don't take it as something important, we take it as a joke. But bear me witness, sincerely, breastfeeding has a lot of mental impact, health impact on the child. It actually puts compassion in the heart of the child. So
there are numerous importance of breastfeeding a child. I'll give a few. The protective importance, which helps to protect the child from different diseases and illnesses. Then the growth importance, which aids in the normal growth of a child. Then the IQ part, it promotes the brain power.
Breastfeeding not only enhances the health and well-being of infants, but also benefit mothers not only by reducing the risk of various diseases and promoting maternal-child bonding.
The prominent World Breast
Welcome back. You had it there, the chairman of Ifakojai local government, Hamzat, Prince Usman Hamzat, saying that he completed the syllabus. It took it for 2 years. So we are still in the studio here talking about breastfeeding support for all. But let me ask you, Esther. Yes, we know that the stipulated time for breastfeeding is 2 years. So what happens when you do not breastfeed for 2 years? Let's say I did a year, 3 months. Is there any deficiency? That's my child will go through.
No, according to the WHO, we're told that you should breastfeed exclusively for 6 months without adding any other meal. And then you can give it to 2 years. And the child is already adding other supplementary diets, especially the family meal being introduced. So, plus or minus, that's what they said, 2 years. Then some can try to get to 2 years. Some can, and some children, they tend to withdraw on their own. Some, they wish to focus on this family meal and they are not interested. Some will just reject, even if you continue to persuade them and you encourage them to eat. And just ensure the other meal you are giving them, just as what Ms. Fumi said, it's composed of all these other nutrients that is being found in the meal. So that's the essential thing.
You said something earlier, I'm sorry, you said something earlier about some mothers who choose not to breastfeed. And you also said something about, there are some medications they can take, that will be given to them so that they don't...
stop lactating.
Yeah, that they stop lactating. Can you, as a nurse midwife, can you tell us some of the reasons why a woman or a mother will choose not to breastfeed?
Their child?
Are there health challenges that could cause that, or?
Yes, there can be health challenges. These, as a result of some mothers that have HIV/AIDS mothers, some don't have the adequate teaching that they can actually breastfeed this child. There's low risk of transmitting the the virus to the baby. So for mothers that don't have good education or their viral loads are so high, they don't take their drugs regularly. So those kind of mothers, or they have some other infectious diseases that they can actually transfer to the baby. And some, we are in this civilized environment, Gen Z, people are going for breast surgeries and implants, putting implants, and they just have to be in shape. They are not ready to do that kind of sacrifice. So some chose not to. And it's a free word. You can decide to choose whatever you think. You discuss with your health practitioner and they try to, we don't really impose it on them. We just encourage. And you decide to choose whatever method you seems that is comfortable for you.
Okay, Funlola, looking at breastfeeding substitute, formulas, do you think that it is being encouraged and that there is no regulation? Because for a woman who is healthy, because I know some of them, that's why I asked that question, who I see that nothing is wrong with them, and they have chosen not to breastfeed. Should formula, these breast milk substitutes, be readily available?
That's a very good question. You see, my MD usually says something before the regulation, that our mothers, they don't have any other option. What they feed the children is the breast milk.
Exactly.
It's because people are seeing other options.
Yeah.
And then we have the classy place that I'm giving this is more expensive than this.
Now have class
So those ones can also come in. But in the actual sense, the food the baby will eat is with you. It's only if you understand. That's why we keep on advocating every breastfeeding week that this thing is the best, no matter what you do. It can never be compared with the other one. So what we do is, in our own hospital, we try not to encourage it much. It's only when it is needed or indicated. Needed because of this, some some of the reasons she mentioned.
Or some those who don't lactate
on time,
and the baby has
so that
to
the baby
feed.
will not be on anything, or it might be that you are having issue with your health. Maybe you are still even in the LIMCO or ICU, so they need to take care of the child. So those are some of the reasons. But on a normal day, we are not encouraged to have it available. So even if you want to have it, it's because of medical reason that you give to that child.
Like a prescription.
Prescription that you are prescribing to a child, because I don't want this baby to die or anything to happen to the child. That's why I'm giving to you. But on a normal day, when you start that 1 hour lactation and you know that there's something coming out, then we just encourage. They need encourage. It's the support we're talking about. Support from healthcare workers to throw them, which you have been doing at ANC, to continue to tell them that you can actually do it. It can be challenging, but it's the best you can give. Like you are laying a foundation. When you lay a foundation, it should be a strong foundation. So when you lay a good foundation, after 2 years, we have stopped the breastfeeding.
But this breast milk substitutes, this formula, do they have any nutritional value?
Oh, they do.
Okay.
You know, I told you they have to study breast milk to know the nutrient in breast milk, and then they have to introduce it.
But not as much as the natural breast milk.
It cannot be like original.
It cannot be like original. It's the golden milk, yes, the golden milk. So they have to study it, and they keep on, because every year they keep on introducing to us that, oh, I've already introduced something new into this, because they saw it in breast milk. So breast milk is their standard. Yes. So it's their standard every year. So it has been like that, and they keep on improving on it. So they have so many nutrients in it.
I want to ask something. What if, is there any health risk for your partner or spouse to suck your breast while you are breastfeeding? Is there any health risk on the man?
No.
Okay, on the man. Okay. No, not on the man.
There's no.
Once the woman is free, she doesn't have any virus. Of course, they are actually living together and they are having intercourse together.
So the man can suck he can take the breast milk.
You know, this is breastfeeding week.
Okay.
Okay. This is breast milk we are talking about, not breastfeeding. The breast milk is actually meant for the baby.
Okay, but
the baby, newborn, the infants, not the other babies.
Because they'll say they are the first
they said
baby.
the topic is breastfeeding support.
The man, you know, the men too, they have job to do actually in this breastfeeding. You know, we talk about flat nipple, inverted nipple. It's the job of the man to help the woman to bring it out.
So at what point does he help to bring it out?
During pregnancy.
Okay.
During, you know, when they come for, we encourage the men to come for antenatal with their wives. So when they come in a situation where they are having an inverted nipple, they will tell them, try to help her to pull it out.
How does he pull it out? By sucking?
Yes.
By sucking.
The man also tries.
So while you're pregnant, you surrender your breast for sucking?
Yes. Of course they do that now.
Okay.
So they bring it out. And if it's not yet enough, during delivery, they can help. So if they know they can tolerate the breast milk too, it's just like taking the regular milk. Oh, it doesn't taste too well, actually.
It tastes sweet. I tasted mine. It was sweet.
Sweet. Yes.
Like it's watery milk.
And sweet. Yes, that's true. It's sweet.
Okay, Oluwabumi, let's look at the personal hygiene of a mother while she's breastfeeding. What are the preparations or steps a woman should take or expect? Is it a new mother? Yes. The new mother should take, because you know you're putting your baby, nursing mother. Thank you for that word. You know, you're putting your baby on yourself. You know, most of the time. Yes. So what are the steps or what are the preparations? You know, a woman would take.
Thank you, Ra. Everything starts from the, you know, as a lady, and the way they are growing up. Our mothers, you know, the environment, the society, we are being prepared on how to take care of this newborn and even taking care of ourselves generally, most especially our breast. You know, during antenatal, I said earlier, they assess the baby, the mother's breast to know maybe the nipple is inverted or not. There are some clogs blocking this pulse. So they tell them how to clean this thing. They use the cotton wool and maybe coconut oil or olive oil to clean. You know, while cleaning, they see some black particles coming out. you continue to clean gradually. Those things will remove. Those are the things that can block the access, the milk from coming down. And you know, most especially women that loves dark shades, braziers, bra. Personal hygiene is very important. We encourage them to wash their bra. And you know, during breastfeeding, they tend
you'll be smelling now.
Sure. So during some use the breastfeeding pad, they use the pads to attach it, and you tell them regularly to change. When even not some that is not wet, doesn't mean at least you can change like twice a day. And you know, we have a bath for a breastfeeding mother. At least you bath like twice a day.
3 times.
Twice, because the stress of bringing the baby closer, and you know, the sweat and all the house chores and everything, and changing our undergarment, changing our dresses, you know, before you go to bed. Those are the things. The personal hygiene, that is actually normal hygiene being needed. There's nothing special.
Okay. I want you to talk about techniques of breastfeeding, because and you also talk about when a woman starts breastfeeding. I think the first few weeks there's always a sore. Yes, and someone said it's because the baby is not latching well. There's the way you're supposed to place the baby to latch, and when the baby doesn't latch well, that's what results into that pain.
Positioning and attachment.
Yes, I experienced it twice.
Position well.
And the second time was so painful, you know. So I want you to also talk about that techniques for breastfeeding. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'll start from the preparation. That one starts from, you know, we said earlier that the woman should be ready to breastfeed this child. So the woman try to sit on a comfortable position, like try to sit like a firm chair, and make sure your back is resting well because of your back and your arm, so that you have back pain while breastfeeding. So I'm going to discuss about some other steps and different methods of breastfeeding. But then the next thing is bringing the baby, positioning the baby closer. So I'm going to use the cradle method. We use there's one called the cradle. That's the popular one being known.
Okay, so we
in
have
which
some...
this is the latching method. The ways I'm actually going to discuss this.
Okay.
But let me explain the cradle method. Okay. This one is when we put the head of the baby on this our arm. Let's say I'm using my left breast, using my right hand to guide. So by doing that, you ensure the tummy of the baby is facing my own tummy too. You understand? And you try to elevate the baby's head to be at the level of the nipple. You know all these things I'm trying to do, the arm of the woman can be aching her.
Exactly.
So she can use a breastfeeding pillow.
That's the short there.
Yes, or a normal pillow to support her hand, so that she can be comfortable. Then you try to elevate the breast using this C-shape method. Don't use scissors. Yes, you know, that scissors, yes.
It was even difficult for me.
Yes,
Scissors
if you use
like
the
this.
C-shape, your 4 fingers will be under the breast to lift the breast up. You understand? They use your thumb to direct. So while doing that, you ensure the whole, not just the nipple, that's why you're having the pain. The whole areola is the darker shades area surrounding the nipple. So the whole areola enters the baby's mouth, so that baby can latch. With that, there'll be a kind of seal being formed. The baby will attach the mouth to that. Then you'll be feeling a kind of tugging, like a pulley sensation, that the baby is swallowing. But if the baby is feeding on the nipple alone, the mother will have pain. But if the baby is sucking, is latching on everything, the areola and the nipple, there won't be much pain. Initially, there might be initial pain, but along the line, there won't be soreness or the nipple having sores or bruises or the likes. So doing that, then after the baby is well fed, there's what they call hind milk and the fore milk. So while breastfeeding, make sure the baby feeds on one breast first. Ensure the baby finished that breast before changing over to the other breast. You understand?
Okay.
So while doing that, sometimes the baby might get tired. Maybe the mouth, their jaws are aching them. They might take away their mouth. So the mothers might, the baby is no longer hungry. No. Allow the baby to rest, to relax. The baby can bring...
Okay, it's off.
Okay.
Okay, it's cradle.
It's still the cradle.
It's still the cradle. Like the head is still supporting. I will explain the other methods too. So just the regular one we use is actually the cradle method. So while supporting the breast, supporting the mouth of the baby by elevating the breast, putting it into the mouth of the baby. So when the baby is done, then you try to allow the baby to burp, like belch, in case there's air being swallowed. So while doing that, then you watch out. Maybe the baby is going to bring out something or not. So going to different methods of breastfeeding, positioning. Now I explained the cradle method. There's another one, the football method. The football method is just like the way we hold our football today. So the baby's body will be facing the side. The head, just support the edge like this. You support the head. You can use the breastfeeding pillow to support. Then you gently feed. Just hold the baby's head like this.
Those styles that you're mentioning now, your size of breast will determine the style.
No, like this one is actually good for mothers with twins.
Oh,
so you can just do it like that, and
yes.
or a mother that just undergone an operative surgery.
Oh, yeah, that
you
cannot,
understand?
yeah.
Yes, cannot. So just support and go. There's Australian method. Australian method, that one is good for a child from older babies. So that one, you just put the baby on your lap. The baby is seated on your lap, and you just put the baby. Then you can do some other things.
Like 2 years, baby.
Yes, you can easily
1
do.
year.
There's another one. The mother can stay in a reclined method. You know, there are some chairs that you can relax back. That one is also good for a baby that can actually grab the breast on his or her own. So you just relax, and the baby will just try to grab the breast and suck. Another one some mothers they do is the sideline. We don't really recommend that in early in newborns, new babies. You know, the mother will just lie down and allow the baby to breastfeed. So some of the disadvantages to that one is the baby can get choked. You know, when the mother can actually sleep off while breastfeeding, and you know, for newborns they can't easily push away the breast. But if it's a grown baby, like 6 months and above, can take away his head away, that, oh, you are shocking me more. I remember my baby then, she just pinched me. And I woke up. I woke up like, I've done something. So breastfeeding, it's actually a big job.
It is a labor of love, as I said. Please, can I emphasize on that Heinz milk and full milk?
Okay.
You see, we've heard people or women saying that, my breast milk is not enough. It's not enough for my baby because it's not coming out. It's actually because they're not getting what Heinz milk and full milk means. The full milk is like the water part of the breast milk. So the Heinz milk is the one that contains more of the protein and the fat, the one that will fuel the baby more. So if, for example, you are feeding your child, the baby sleeps off, the baby was able to just get the full milk alone, that is the water part. Okay. You woke up again, at the end of the day, then you woke up again, you went to the next one. Rather than getting to the Heinz milk, you did not get to the fat part that will make the baby to get filled up. So you kept on giving the water part instead of you to get to the fatty part, the protein one, the one that will make the baby to get filled up. So that's one of the problems, the major challenges that we have seen that could be causing a problem. So that's why you now keep on hearing people say, it's not okay, that's why I had to go and buy this and this one. There's no breast that God has provided that is not enough or breast milk for your child. So it's adequate for your child.
Thank you very much. This is how far we can go. Like our nutritionist said, it's not about the size.
No, it's not about the size.
Once you have breast, once you're a woman, whatever you have called breast is suitable for breastfeeding. Child. Thank you very much, Fumilola Ijiwola, nutritionist, and Oluwabumi Esther Bello, the nurse and midwife. Thanks for coming. We'll go on another short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.